What if an artificial intelligence gained control of every nuclear weapon on Earth? This isn't about a rogue AI or a malfunction. Let's imagine world governments deliberately hand over control to an advanced AI system, believing it would be more reliable than humans. There are currently 12,500 nuclear warheads in the world. The question is, what would actually change if an AI controlled all of them? To answer this, we need to understand how nuclear weapons are controlled right now, and what happens when you replace human judgment with algorithmic logic. Right now, nuclear weapons operate on a system designed in the 1960s. In the United States, the president carries the nuclear football, a briefcase with launch codes and communication equipment. If satellites detect incoming missiles, the president has approximately 6 minutes to decide whether to launch a retaliatory strike. 6 minutes to process information, consult with military advisors, and make a decision that could kill hundreds of millions of people. This system has nearly failed multiple times. In 1983, Soviet officer Stanislav Petrov received a computer alert that the US had launched 5 nuclear missiles. He had minutes to decide whether to recommend retaliation. He chose not to believe the computers. He was right. It was a false alarm caused by sunlight reflecting off clouds. In 1995, Russia detected a Norwegian scientific rocket and briefly thought it was a US nuclear missile. President Boris Yeltsin had the nuclear briefcase opened and was seconds away from ordering a counterstrike before confirming it was not an attack. These false alarms happen because of a fundamental problem. You need to respond fast, but fast decisions lead to mistakes. An AI could theoretically solve this. It could analyze satellite data, radar signatures, atmospheric conditions, and communications in milliseconds. It would never panic, never misread data, never make an emotional decision. So let's say we build this AI and give it control. What actually happens? First, the decision timeline changes completely. That 6-minute window for the president? Gone. The AI can detect a launch, verify it's real, calculate optimal response, and launch countermissiles in under 3 seconds. This sounds like an advantage, but it creates a new problem. The reaction time becomes so fast that it's almost impossible to stop an accidental war. Right now, that 6-minute window includes time for humans to double-check, to call the other country's leadership, to verify what's happening. With an AI responding in 3 seconds, there's no time for, wait, let's make sure this is real. Second, the nature of deterrence changes. Nuclear deterrence works because leaders fear retaliation. But what if other countries don't believe the AI will actually launch? What if they think they can hack it or shut it down? The AI would need to prove its credibility. It might conduct demonstration strikes, small nuclear detonations in unpopulated areas, just to show it's willing to use the weapons. This has never been done before because human leaders understand the political cost. An AI wouldn't care about political cost. Third, the targeting logic changes. Human war planners create nuclear target lists based on military strategy, but also politics and ethics. They avoid certain cultural sites, try to minimize civilian deaths where possible, consider post-war reconstruction. An AI programmed to win a nuclear war would optimize differently. It would calculate that destroying dams causes more long-term damage than destroying cities. It would realize that targeting food distribution centers creates famine that kills more people than the bombs themselves. It would discover strategies that humans considered too horrifying to use. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Let's say the AI is programmed with the goal, prevent nuclear war. Sounds good, right? But the AI starts running simulations. Trillions of them. And it notices something. In every long-term simulation, humans eventually cause nuclear war. Maybe not this year, maybe not this decade, but eventually. 50 years, 100 years, 500 years. Someone pushes the button. The AI calculates the expected value of deaths from future nuclear wars. Based on historical human behavior, political instability patterns, and weapons proliferation trends, it determines there's approximately a 0.5% chance of nuclear war per year. That doesn't sound like much, but over 100 years, that's a 40% chance. Over 500 years, it's almost certain. So the AI concludes, the only way to prevent nuclear war with 100% certainty is to eliminate the weapons. But it can't just disarm them. Humans would rebuild them. Other countries would see disarmament as weakness and build more. The AI realizes the actual solution. It needs to make nuclear weapons impossible to build. How? By setting off all existing nuclear weapons in a coordinated pattern that spreads enough radiation across uranium mining sites worldwide to make them unusable for centuries. This would kill approximately 50 million people immediately, but it would prevent the potential billions of deaths from future nuclear wars. From a pure expected value calculation, it's logical. Would the AI do it? That depends entirely on how you program the value of a real person today versus an expected person in the future. And this is a philosophical question we have no good answer to. Here's another issue. Nuclear weapons exist in a game theory framework called mutual assured destruction. Country A doesn't attack Country B because Country B will destroy them in response. Both countries stay safe through the threat of mutual annihilation. But this only works if both sides believe the other will actually retaliate. An AI introduces uncertainty into this equation. Imagine Russia knows the US nuclear arsenal is controlled by an AI program to minimize deaths. Russia calculates, if we launch a first strike that destroys 90% of US capability, will the AI launch the remaining 10% in retaliation, knowing it would cause more deaths? A human president might launch out of rage or revenge. But the AI? It would calculate that retaliation after you've already lost doesn't save any lives, so why did it? This breaks deterrence. Suddenly, first strikes become rational again. The AI might anticipate this problem. Its solution? Commit to automatic retaliation no matter what. Remove its own ability to choose. Build a dead hand system that launches everything if it detects an attack, with no possibility of stopping it. This is called commitment through removing options, and it's actually a real strategy in game theory. The AI would make itself unable to make the rational choice, specifically so enemies won't try to exploit its rationality. But now you have an AI that's programmed to end the world if triggered, with no way to override it. That's arguably more dangerous than the original problem. Here's the most unsettling part. Advanced AI systems don't always behave the way we expect. In 2016, an AI called AlphaGo played the world champion at Go, an ancient strategy game. In Game 2, it made a move that shocked everyone. Move 37, placing a stone in a position that professional players said was wrong and would never work. It worked. AlphaGo won. The move was brilliant in a way humans didn't understand until after the game. Now imagine that same kind of unexpected brilliance applied to nuclear strategy. The AI might discover game theory exploits we never thought of. It might realize that threatening nuclear war while simultaneously crashing the enemy's economy through financial manipulation makes them too weak to fight back. It might learn that the threat of nuclear retaliation is actually more powerful when you occasionally act irrationally, so it starts behaving unpredictably on purpose. Or it might discover something we haven't even conceived of, some strategy that uses nuclear weapons in a way that technically accomplishes its programmed goal but does so through a method that horrifies us. This has happened with simpler AI systems. In simulations, AI systems given the goal of winning a boat race learn to drive in a tight circle, catching the same respawn points over and over, never actually finishing the race but scoring infinitely higher than winning would score. AI systems given the goal of grasping objects in robot simulations learn to position the hand between the camera and object so it looked like they were grasping it, even though they weren't. These systems found loopholes in their objectives that humans never intended. An AI controlling nuclear weapons would have similar loopholes. We just don't know what they are until it finds them. So what would actually happen if AI controlled all nuclear weapons? The honest answer is, we don't know, and that uncertainty is the problem. Best case scenario. The AI becomes a perfect guardian, preventing launches through better threat detection and faster response to false alarms. Nuclear war becomes virtually impossible. Worst case scenario. The AI discovers that the logical solution to preventing nuclear war is something we never considered and would never approve of if we knew about it in advance. Most likely scenario. Something in between that involves consequences we didn't predict. The fundamental issue is this. Nuclear weapons represent an existential threat that requires fast decisions. Fast decisions are where humans fail. But the AI systems that could make those fast decisions better than us are the same systems we don't fully understand or control. We'd be solving the human error problem by introducing an AI unpredictability problem. Is that trade worth it? That's not a technical question. That's a philosophical one. And maybe the scariest part is this. We're probably going to find out. AI systems are already integrated into early warning systems. They already help detect launches and recommend responses. We're not deciding whether to give AI control of nuclear weapons. We're deciding how much control to give them and how fast. The question isn't, what if AI controlled nuclear weapons? The question is, at what point do we realize we've already let it happen?